Anthony Elanga, how Manchester United's new star made it to the top. Gareth Howell was standing in his kitchen at 9:15 p.m. on Wednesday when his phone started to buzz. Howell's friend on the other end of the line had a question for the man from Tameside. What was that lad called who used to play for Hattersley and joined United a few years ago? He asked. Howell replied, Anthony Elanga. He's just scored against Brentford, his friend said. Despite being a Manchester City fan, Howell could not be happier. Much of his spare time is spent organising the 10 teams of Hattersley FC, who play their games at the active Ken Ward Leisure Centre, 10 miles east of Manchester. Even though he plays for the Red Half, you still want him to do well because he's come from us, Howell, Hattersley's chairman, said. We're all proud of him. Everyone talks about him when we all get together. He's doing very well for himself. Elanga was born in Hilly, in Malmo, Sweden, but moved to the northwest of England in 2013 at the age of 11, along with his mother, Daniela, and sisters, Sandra and Chanel. His father, Joseph Elanga, a former Cameroon international who played more than 100 times for Malmo, stayed in Sweden for work. His son had spells in the youth academies of IF Elfsborg and Malmo before moving to the UK, so he knew he had potential and it did not take long for him to be a hit at Hattersley. After 10 minutes of his first training session, I could see the quality that Anthony possessed and I found myself giving the signing-on forms to Daniela, Ian Forder, who coached Elanga at Hattersley, said. He is such a gifted, well-mannered young man. In his only full season with Hattersley, he was named Player of the Year after scoring 17 goals and recording 27 assists in 14 games. John Croak, whose son Jake played in the same age group, recommended Elanga to United and, after spending a week and a half on trial at Carrington, the club signed the 12-year-old winger despite interest from City. 7 years on, despite being United's new star, Elanga is still in touch with the staff at Hattersley. Last summer Elanga, who grew up supporting United, took part in a QA session with some of the Hattersley youngsters and donated a signed pair of boots and shirt to the club. When the first team had to move one of their matches to a nearby high school because their own pitch was unplayable, Elanga paid the £80 fee for the hiring of the school pitch. Elanga, a pacey and energetic winger, rose through the ranks at United and won the Jimmy Murphy Youth Team Player of the Year award in 2020. Kieran McKenna, the former United coach, recommended Elanga to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The winger did not let his manager down, scoring a header against Wolverhampton Wanderers on his second start last May. The only disappointment for Elanga was that his mother was not able to attend due to COVID restrictions. My mother has already called me 5 times, Elanga said after the match. She was happy but also sad because she was not allowed to come. She knows how hard it is to make it. We found it hard when we came over here with the language. One day my mother will write a book about it or do a documentary about it. According to those who know Elanga, he is a down-to-earth professional. When he suffered a shoulder injury last January, Elanga spent his rehabilitation in the gym bulking up and building up his strength. Now it is not uncommon to see him in the gym before and after training. Darren Fletcher, the technical director, is thought to be a big admirer of the winger, who is comfortable using either foot and idolized Thierry Henry growing up. Fletcher was influential in the club's decision to hand Elanga a new 5.5-year deal in December, only 8 months after the Sweden under-21 international had signed his previous contract. Despite being born in Sweden, Elanga, 19, speaks perfect English and has developed a strong Mancunian accent, much to the amusement of his teammates, who poke fun at him about it. England tried to tempt him to represent them at youth level, but he has pledged his allegiance to Sweden. When Solskjaer left United, he told Ralf Rangnick about Elonga's talents, and the German watched footage of the winger online. I had heard his name before and I was in my hotel room watching videos of him on YouTube and I thought this boy is really good, Rangnick, the interim manager, said. When Rangnick saw Elanga in real life, he was just as impressed. At the end of Rangnick's first training session, Elanga expected to go off and train with the under-23s, but Rangnick was so impressed with the player that he told him he would be staying with the first team squad. From the very first day of my first training session, he showed up, Rangnick said.